Hey VC, how are you all doing? Not going to be doing 7-inch singles this time around. As most of you will have been aware, last weekend was Record Store Day. I have a particular love for Record Store Day, and I know that's an antithesis to some people, but there you go, each to their own, eh? For the last 6 or 7 years, I've been going to the same shop, queuing up early in the morning, meeting the same people, just having a great time, and thoroughly love it. And it's one of the few times Jill doesn't really worry about us bringing shitloads of music back. So anyway, Saturday I got up at an ungodly hour. I was in the queue for just after 3 o'clock in the morning. I was second in the queue. Paul, who has been there for many, many years, beat me this time round by about 2 minutes. So he got a special disc for being first in the queue. But hey ho. I love the banter, and it's good crack. One of the lads who normally sort of queue with, Jeff, wasn't able to make it this year, so I picked up some stuff for him. It was just good fun, and I had to go to work yesterday, which was the Sunday, and on the way back from work through town I popped in again, and I might have picked up something else as well. Anyway, sorry, cheers. This is a very apt beer. So we have ABC Crate Digger Coffee Stout. So a nice bit of design there with your hipster going through his records. It's a very nice beer for all that. So, on to what I got. First stuff I picked up for other people. So for Jeff, I picked up the Duran Duran single. Well, it's like an EP, I suppose. It's got 6 tracks on it. But it was extortionately expensive, and I hummed and hard about getting it. But it was about 30 quid, and I wasn't going to pay that much for it. So, next I pick up a copy yesterday of Jason Isbell in the 400 unit from my mate Billy. He couldn't find it on Saturday, so I picked it up for him. Saturday I picked it up for myself. I haven't opened it yet. I have it on CD anyway, but I love the version of Van Morrison's Into the Mystic on there. Good stuff. This is the one thing I picked up for myself on Sunday, and it's the Pineapple Thief, 8 years later. So some really good prog stuff. Comes with K-scope catalogue thing, and it's pressed on a rather nifty white vinyl. Now, this was kind of an error on my part on the Saturday. I had seen it on the list, but when it came to actually filling in the tick boxes, totally forgot about it, and it went bye-byes. Now, the next thing is kind of one of the things I love Record Store Day for, in that it's something that I probably would never have considered buying, because just wouldn't have thought to look for it. And this is Anthony Gormley's Sounds of the Studio. And basically what he did was stick a ribbon mic in the middle of his studio. For those of you who don't know, Anthony Gormley is a famous sculptor, most famous in this region for putting up the Angel of the North, and if I'm clever enough, I'll stick a picture of the Angel of the North somewhere. But yeah, so Lord knows what it is. What does he say? We bash around, cut and weld, saw and fix, heat and bend, form with hammers, and share with snips, but once removed from the focus acts of object making, the liberated sounds make a structure. So pretentious not, but I'm looking forward to giving that a spin and listen. Next up was the Groundhogs debut album, which I don't have on CD. I've got a lot of other stuff on CD, but I didn't have a copy of this on CD. Came with a rather nice inner sleeve with interviews with the band about the album, and comes on just a black vinyl. Next up was Ben Queller's debut album, Sha Sha. Again, I've got a couple of his albums on CD, but I didn't have anything on vinyl, so I thought it was an ideal time to pick up some bits and pieces. Came with an inner sleeve with a very, very young looking Ben on there. Comes on a very nice white vinyl. I do like Ben Queller's stuff, and for some reason never picked this one up, so again, ideal opportunity. Then Van Morrison, The Alternative Moondance, Glare. Moondance is my favourite Van Morrison album, so I had to pick this up, and they've done a rather nice reproduction of the early Warner Brothers label for that. And it's always nice hearing bits and pieces of how artists came up with the song that ended up on the album and what kind of got left on the cutting room floor, etc., etc. So again, I haven't spun that one yet, so I'm looking forward to giving that a listen. Next up, we have Tiny Ruins. Glare. There we go. Tiny Ruins is basically, they're from New Zealand, and I think the main girl's name is Holly Fulcrum or Fulcrum or something like that. I saw her support Neil Finn a couple of years ago and picked up a couple of albums on vinyl. Lovely voice, sort of indie folk type stuff. And this comes on a quite nice marbled gold vinyl. So that's quite nice. She's a new album. So that's quite nice. Next up, we've got double album Max Richter, The Blue Notebooks. Yeah, strange-ish packaging. Haven't quite worked it out. It looks like a sort of gatefold see-through thing with the sticker tape on with the track listing on. I love Max Richter. He's a modern composer. He's done interpretations of works by Stravinsky, etc., etc. So love that. Next up, one of the two Hawkwind releases this year, and this is Dark Matter. As always, great packaging. They always put together something really nice. And it's just black vinyl. And I haven't really had a look in to see what this is, but it's a compilation album. And just from the bits here where it says The alternative Liberty UA years 70 to 74. Was that 79? Who knows? It's one of those strange fonts that it could be either. I have a feeling the tracks are probably pulled from this collection, which is what we're listening to in the background here, which is a great compilation of stuff, and the glare is just shitty, but what the hell. Yeah, but Parallel Universe, yeah, it is. Yeah, that's got to be tracks pulled from that, I would have said. The second Hawkwind thing this year was a triple album of Levitation. Now, those of you who've watched any of my videos before will know this is my favourite Hawkwind album, if not one of my favourite albums of all time. It's a triple album, and it came with a reproduction of the tour programme, which was 1980. Saw them on this tour. Absolutely brilliant. Dave Brock, who's obviously the main guy in the band. Harvey Bainbridge, who's been a long-standing member on both bass and keyboards. Hugh Lloyd-Langton, probably one of the most underrated guitarists in rock music. Tim Blake, who's also been in Gong. And the utterly barking Ginger Baker of Cream fame. But yeah, so that was quite nice. I've got a copy of that. I bought a copy of that when I saw them in 1980, and I'm hoping it's still at my mum and dad's somewhere. Comes on a rather nice blue vinyl with a sort of facsimile of the old bronze centre label. And Adam Henge, who produced that, put this out a number of years ago. And what the vinyl is basically the album plus this bit of the live stuff, not including that bit of the live stuff. So I've got it already, and I've got the vinyl, and but hey, collector's thing. Next up was a purchase kind of on spec. This is Michael Raven and Joan Mills, Death and the Lady. This is a sort of early 70s folk album that released a press of around about 200 or something back in 71 or 72, and goes for an absolute fortune these days. It goes for some, several £100 a copy. Came with a nice little insert with a bit of sort of band history. And this is supposed to be lovely stuff. And it's just black vinyl, but we got Death and the Lady. Bit of Stephen Wilson. Stephen tends to put something out for Record Store Day every year. 12-inch single this time round. And on a sort of very nice pastel-y blue vinyl. I usually tend to pick up any Stephen Wilson stuff that I can. There was supposed to be a release of Bass Communion, which is sort of Stephen Wilson's dancey type stuff, but none of the shops I got to, it had a copy or seen a copy, so maybe that'll come out later on. Then, as always, tends to be some Rory Gallagher, and if there's any Rory Gallagher, I've got to pick it up. So this is live in France with a brilliant set list. Haven't given it a spin yet, but looking forward to. It's just black vinyl, but rather nice picture, and then just some ads of what else they're flogging of his catalogue at the moment. It's going to go flying. Then David Sylvian, Dead Bees on a Cake. David Sylvian, who of Japan fame, solo stuff really good as well, love it. Nice inner sleeves, and this comes on a very nice sort of pearlescent white creamy vinyl, and that's excellent. It's a lovely album, that one. And finally, an album I bought on spec. Didn't know anything about the band or anything like that, but what the hell, it gives me a chance to listen to something new. Presentation looks great. Lovely artwork on the inner sleeves, etc. And this is on a slightly smoky clear vinyl. So there you go. That's my pickups. Managed to do that in under 20 minutes. Bloody hell. Like I say, love Record Store Day. Newcastle has got a great selection of record shops these days. Could have gone to any of them, but went to Windows because that's where I've always gone, and it's kind of tradition, I suppose. But really looking forward to giving those a spin when I get some time. Cheers, folks. If you went out on Record Store Day and it's the sort of thing you like, I hope you found what you wanted. If you don't like Record Store Day, I hope you found something that wasn't Record Store Day that you were able to spend your money on and enjoy. Each to their own. Okay, folks, take care now. Bye.